the city of Las Vegas welcomes you to Major League Rugby 2020. Happy Valentine's weekend from the Nevada desert as Toronto look to fire more than just Cupid's arrow at the Houston SaberCats. It's East versus West Coast as these sides get ready for battle. Take a look at the standings. And a win today for one of these sides will shoot them right to the top. It's still early stages in the competition, so don't pay too much attention to the teams lower down on the standings. We've seen two beautiful games here in Las Vegas, and it's Super Sunday today. 3 matches coming up live and loud in Major League Rugby, and here's a look at them. Seattle, DC, Colorado here against San Diego, and then later it's ATL against NOLA Gold. Hello and welcome to Sam Boyd Stadium. I'm Dallin Stanford, joined alongside by former English international Alex Corbisiero. We saw 70 points scored yesterday in each game. It's been highly entertaining on and off the field.
It was an entertaining weekend. It did Vegas really justice here. High action, high reward, exciting rugby, and leaving a good footprint for the MLR here going forward.
And let's look at today's game. What's going to be important for each side?
Well, I think when you look at Toronto, they had a really impressive outing last week. And speaking to their GM, Matt Whitaker, he was basically saying that it's built off a good set-piece platform. The ability to, if they can get parity there, it gives their team the ability to play fast and wide. They have 2 playmakers in there, and they feel that is their point of difference today, where they're really going to stretch Houston. Next is win the gain line. Last week, they were really happy with their physicality in attack, getting over there, getting quick ball, but also in defense, slowing them down, allowing their players to get stuck in the breakdown. And third, executing their opportunities in attack. They felt they left too many missed opportunities out there, could have run up an even bigger score. They want to build on that today. And when we're looking at Houston, big work on for them, tactical kicking game. I think the Sam Windsor, DeVette Ruiz 9 and 10 partnership is one of their key strengths. It puts them in the right area of the field, both seasoned veteran players. It really does set up their game. Nextly, the defensive pressure. They pride themselves on the line speed. They know that this team wants to play fast and wide. They're going to have to get up off the line, put them under pressure, try and force errors, get the ball back and play with their exciting pace out wide. And lastly, creativity in attack. They only scored 1 try last week. Most of their points came from Sam Windsor's boot. Played in the right areas. They just need a few more options to really unlock this Toronto defense.
And Alex, which player from each side would you expect to stand out today?
Tons of talent across both teams, but number 13, Ben Lesage, for me, is a standout. When we talk about gain line, him in the middle, the lines he runs, the power he brings, he really is one to watch. Very impressed with him last season when I first saw him play, and he's been a star for Canada as well. When you look at Houston, I'm looking at number 9, DeVette Ruiz, the captain, experience, played for the Brumbies. His experience will be vital today. Marshalling his forwards, put them in the right area. His skill set is so well-rounded. He looks for breaks. He really makes the right options. Look for him to start getting some stuff started, and him and Sam Windsor's partnership is so vital to this team.
Well, we're set for an epic battle between Canada and the USA. After the break, it's Toronto v Houston in Week 2 of Major League Rugby 2020.
I think the training environment is what separates this place more than anything else. I think that there's like a team environment with a personalized training effect. So I think that's the problem with a lot of other places. It's one or the other. It's, we're all together in this class, but there's no specificity with each person. or it's only personal training, which really there's just no camaraderie. So this facility, the way we set it up, we try to get that team environment, that group camaraderie, along with a personalized, tailored program for your needs and your goals.
Culture is just a massive thing here, from person to person. You know, we'll have a 30-year-old athlete who's crushing a 300-pound deadlift right next to a 45-year-old woman who's just doing walking lunges, and the cohesiveness between the two people really ties the whole gym together.
Hey, rugby fans, rugby is everywhere. The giant is awakening, and Rugby Wrap-Up is there with the alarm clock. Rugby Wrap-Up, global rugby coverage, sometimes with a wink. Weekly studio shows, daily website content, breaking news, evolving stories, the biggest names in the game on camera, all over social media. Pundits from all corners of the planet, local, global, professional, amateur, female, and male. Find it all on rugbywrapup.com.
Rhino Rugby is the official ball and technical training equipment supplier of Major League Rugby. Visit rhinorugby.com today for all your rugby needs. Take a look at today's lineups, Alex.
Looking at the Toronto Arrows, in their pack, Andrew Quatra, number 2. Kingsley Jones, the Canadian coach who is here watching today, told me he is the future of the Canadian jersey. He's big, he's physical, he's abrasive. Look out for him today, getting through a lot of work in that Arrows lineup. When you look at the backs, I've got to highlight number 10, Tyler Adams, and number 15, Sam Malcolm, the two playmakers. Malcolm played 10 for them last year. This is what they're talking about with their wide, expansive attacking game. It opens up the width, it opens up the backfield and the kicking game. Really smart options from the Toronto Arrows out there today. Contrasting that with the Houston SaberCats in the forwards, big physical, number 4, Kyle Breitenbach. He's got through a lot of work, a lot of carries, a big addition to them out there. Also, Lilo, the loose head, watch out for him, one to watch, very dynamic. In the backs, Sam Windsor, number 10, the talisman for this team. So experienced, so composed, his kicking boot, his vision in attack are so impactful for this team. And then number 12, Taylor Howden, the experienced veteran, back in the side. His experience will be needed. Look for those two to try and unlock this Toronto Arrows defense.
On the call with us today, pitchside duties, Danny Wexelman. Hello, Danny. Welcome back to Sin City.
Hey guys, listen to this. Both squads are trying to leave Vegas 2-0, and obviously both of them cannot do that as we wrap up Valentine's Day weekend. Toronto held their opponent last week to just 10 points. Houston held theirs to just 12. So what's been the difference makers this season? Well, Houston says it's their new head coach, Paul Healy. He's helped them get their groove back. And Toronto, they're returning 29 out of 35 players from last season. Toronto looked very loose in warm-ups this morning. And by the way, guys, they were 2-0 last year against Houston.
Thank you, Danny. Jamie Nutbrown is our referee from New Zealand, living in Houston for the next 6 months, assisted by the great Scott Green and hot stepper Greg Von Nell. It'll be Toronto on the left of your screen in blue. The SaberCats in their bright yellow to receive the first kickoff. It's week 2 of the 2020 Major League Rugby season. And we're underway. A warm welcome to everyone tuning in for this Vegas weekend, especially those fans at Hemingway's Restaurant and Bar in Toronto and those Texans at Hugh O'Connor's in Houston. The Cats kick it straight back. Toronto look for a counter-attack with Sam Malcolm. Lets it go quickly, doesn't use the boot. They go to midfield. Getting over this one there is Jamie McKenzie, known as J-Mac, the 30-year-old veteran. Get their forwards in. Cole Keith, early touch with the 22-year-old. They work the right-hand side. Jump step, but big collision coming in there, and it's Boyd Wiggins turning defenders into mincemeat, they say. Did that on that occasion as Richie Asiata takes it in. The back's looking on the outside. Beautiful bit of space there for Malcolm. Now on the outside again. The switch is offered to the captain, Dan Moore. Let it go! A stunning early 45 seconds for the Arrows. They go with Shepherd just outside the 22. They bust in here with Manuel Diana. Still to the right. The wave of attack keeps surging. Malcolm is wearing that black scrum cap of his.
Gold offside.
14, Dan Moore is there. He wants now. Moore has Howden with him into the 22. Arrows look for the short side again. J-Mac back on the inside. Penalty says referee Nut Brown, and it's all Arrows in the opening start.
They talked about wanting to play wide and fast and up-tempo, and that's exactly how they've started this game. Really good variation and variety in the way they wanted to play. Playing out the back, exposing the width, using the forwards in those front pods of three. Very fast, up-tempo start, and they get rewarded with a shot at three there.
Toronto Arrows aside that beat the Austin Gilronis on the road last week, 38 points to 10 at Bolt Stadium in Texas. They will play 7 of the 8 games away like they did last year because of conditions, and again picking up those victories early on in the competition is vital because they have a strong home stand.
Absolutely, so vital here. You get on a run of these early games, they come in with consistency from last year, a very similar playing group, able to hit the ground running, build on what they did last year, come away with victories in a row early on before they even get the good, strong run at home where we know they're a very formidable force at their home ground.
Attention there for Devet Ruiz, the key player and captain for the Houston SaberCats. As Sam Malcolm, a man from Massey University, born in Wanganui, New Zealand, lines up his first penalty attempt here in the Nevada desert. Little win to speak of. It's a good strike, good start for Toronto. They're up 3-0. They're ahead of the time clock here in Sam Boyd Stadium. Lovely strike. Early confidence builder for the men from Canada. Sam Windsor restarts us. Forward pack look to control this one inside the 22. Again, they send some big heavies in there. Seattle and Keith working in tandem. Forwards get over this one.
Onside blue.
Adams drops back into the pocket. New Zealand under 20 player in 2013 from the Auckland region. As Mackenzie puts one into touch.
The fullback is Fred.
Good exit there from the Arrows. Houston deciding to kick deep, trying to put pressure on them, trying to make it scrappy, dig out the breakdown, but there was a good way to relieve pressure, get out of their own half, and get Houston an attacking platform on the halfway.
SaberCats fresh from their victory over the Colorado Raptors at home, 21 points to 12. First line up for them, go to the back, knock back towards their side, looking to clean this one up. Here is Tion Lewis.
Roll four! Ball's there, ball's
from
there.
Cape Town, South Africa.
Don't hold him, go.
Taylor Howden brings the experience for his team, and they get over the advantage line. So on the front row forwards, Windsor goes to the right-hand side. That's Howden now in picture. Gold medalist winner with the Maccabi rugby side in Israel. Luke Beecham. Penalty to Houston. They
Guys, wait too early, blue.
Clear their lines.
Too early. Offside.
Sure, that'll be a frustrating penalty for the Toronto Arrows. Looked very composed in defence. Houston hadn't gone anywhere from the line out. Still on the halfway line after the little overthrow there. Really unfortunate, unforced error to be offside there. It's one of the most common penalties in the MLR, and it's the thing you have to be very disciplined. It's just that split second, work to the back foot of the ruck, excuse me, and get that line speed up when the ball is lifted from the 9.
Open up, blue.
Nice attacking chance here for Paul Healy and Paul Aaron with the coaches as they look on. Timothy Cadwalder. Perfect with a throw. Ball is set. The ball comes though away to the Arrows. Stolen at the line out. So set piece worries for the SaberCats early on as the Arrows look to go wide. Big pass. A smashing tackle as well. Kick down from Malcolm. It stays in the field of play. They're going to run back here with Zach Pangilinan. He does well. The US international 15s and 7s. His parents live in out Vegas, so home ground advantage for him as he's side under pressure. Ruiz comes to the left-hand side. Nobody wants it. Moore almost collects this. Lewis finally picks it up for his team, and they go to Esdale. Malaki Esdale
Tackle!
in a seatbelt tackle, a little bit high. SaberCats find themselves under pressure. Inside their 22, Ruiz looks for Howden.
Leave it, good counter up.
Howden with a bit of pressure. Nice relieving kick from the inside centre, and the Arrows want to get things going again. Dan Moore comes in nicely. In fact, there was John Sheridan also sporting a bit of a man bun. Good strong carry from Keith again. And from St. John, the oldest incorporated city in Canada. To the left they work. Malcolm, he's been so active.
Advantage.
Almost snapping through there, but gets the offload superbly. Asiata is on his shoulder. Arrows outside the 22. On the front foot, the blue wave continues. Can the men in highlights a yellow stop them?
Tackle.
They go back to the short side again. Nice little dummy thrown. Ben Lesage getting involved. Still the forwards get over the advantage line. Adams, short ball, big collision there. Mike Shepherd, 31-year-old, meets his match, but again is still alive. What a step from Adams. Off the right. Tries to get the pass away there to Giuseppe Toit. They get another penalty in the danger zone.
Off your feet, 2 goals.
Exciting stuff from the Arrows, and you see them really trying to play up tempo, keep the ball and play fast. From that line out, quick take in there, and then the footwork from Adams there was what got them eventually over the front foot. Hands in the ruck, he was off his feet, the referee deemed playing it. That's what the penalty's for, but you could just see them exposing the widths on the wide. Malcolm making breaks outside, Lesage looking dangerous in the middle. This is what they're backing themselves to do. They want to run Houston around, make them work, play their game, and try and sort of blow them away early, it looks like.
Boyd Wiggins, a Zimbabwean who grew up in Auckland, New Zealand, gets a bit of attention, and the SaberCats are under the conch here. 3-0 the score, and Toronto Arrows have decided to go for the corner. An attacking line-out, 5 out. Big defensive stance needed for the Texans as the Arrows continue their wave. The men from the Eastern Conference.
Lines the middle, guys.
With Andrew Quattrin. 5 caps for Canada. There's the Ontario Blues and the CRC. Maul is set. He's at the back now. The Arrows pushing for the line.
Blue on the ground, blue on the ground.
They work to the left-hand side. Finally sets at right time. McKenzie once. Tells he's forced to get out. They send a couple of crash runners. And to help out there is Paul Cellini. SaberCats do well to stop the initial drive, and they turn it over.
Taken in by blue. It's a maul. Turnover, old scrum.
Very, very good defense and discipline from the Houston SaberCats. 5 meters out from their line, survived the maul initially, were able to get it down, and then here with the tackle, wraps them up, keeps the Toronto players' knees from dropping to the floor long enough that the referee deems it a maul. Once that maul collapses, you don't have to release. It's not the same as a tackle, and Houston get the ball back because it's unplayable. Smart defense and great discipline not to give any penalties away when under the cosh there from Toronto.
SaberCats side work this week on their kick chase and their set piece. Let's see how their scrum goes. Their lineout still had a bit of troubles early on in the first 10 minutes.
Fine.
Up front, Lilo and Boyd Wiggins. Stable as they pick at the back with Boyson. Now they set Lewitson on a run. South Africans combining nicely there for the Texan side. Windsor, the right boot of his. Excellent place, touch finder. That'll march the Arrows all the way back past the halfway line.
Absolutely great kick there, great game from that Sam Windsor with the big boot, but also the composure and the smart exit from Houston. That's what they need to do well. We talked about their tactical kicking game, getting the ball out, hard carry up here the middle. They're not messing about, clearing their lines and getting back down there. Houston do not want to play too much of the game in their own half because we've seen how dangerous Toronto are when they have the ball.
Arrows have run from here before. One-handed take, genius. Adams, short ball. Cellini attacks the line to the halfway line. 8 caps for Canada. Behind the back ball, though, goes a bit too deep, so Taylor Adams cleans this one up. He puts it to the left foot. Pangolina has to run back to collect the ball. Bounces towards the touchline. He does well. Does the former soccer international. Goes back to his fullback, Freire, the Argentine man from Buenos Aires. Good skill again from Adams. Really wonderful addition as Malcolm looks to step and dummy his way through. Wall of SaberCats in front of him. McKenzie. Oakville Crusaders and Palmy Beach sides back in the day. Lilo is there, providing a nuisance. As Sheridan goes for a run, it's a penalty though to the Arrows.
Offside for a starter. And then that's your second late tackle, okay? Keep your standards up, please, Gold. I've got that too, okay? I was playing advantage for the first late tackle. And then you got that penalty down there. So then the second one, okay? So.
Tough break for the SaberCats there. They were doing well to sort of marshal them in that halfway line period. Kick tennis going back and forth, no one really getting a gain. That's when Adams and Malcolm decided to take the ball to the line, but then just too many ill-disciplined moments there. Offside from Lilo, then tackling the man late. They already had advantage for another penalty. That's something that we saw yesterday with the Free Jacks giving away huge amounts of penalties. It just gives teams easy ins to kicking into your corner, getting an attacking line out. You want to make them work for those ins, work for that possession and territory. And right now, that's not a good sign because they're just not able to get back down there. And too much of the game is getting played in this sort of 2/3 of the field into Toronto's, into SaberCats half, and that's not where they want to be.
Certainly not. They'll have to defend the line out here again against their rampant Toronto Arrows side. You can see Vladimir Lilo just getting a chat there from referee Nuprout. He was the one that was pinged on a couple of occasions recently. So here they go, Quatrin. Canada under 20 product as well. They go down to Cellini looking for the short angle. Look at this line! He's come from space! That's absolutely a moon landing! Giuseppe Detroit, take a bow.
They skip. So there's a couple of late tackles by the guy.
Just like that, the Toronto Arrows strike. Superbly well-worked move there. If you see, they dummied the drive, got Houston biting in after being tough on the drive. Houston forwards think it's a drive, but they pull out quickly, and then the hard line from the 12 to line finds that disconnect between the backs and the forwards in the defensive line. Perfectly well-worked move off the training park, and just the ability that they had the drive threat earlier in the game, that opened up the opportunity to play something off of it, and credit to Toronto there. They talked about last week they left opportunities out on the field. This week they're taking them when they come.
Stunning set piece move, ridiculous angle from inside centre. Giuseppe Detroit, the 24-year-old, born in Johannesburg, South Africa, but raised in Canada. 14 caps for his country there, his adopted country. Debuted against Chile in 2017, and his try has been converted, and 10-0, and let's get some reaction from Danny pitchside.
Alex, building off what you just mentioned, I talked to Lucas Rumble this morning, who said, listen, we were happy with the win, but we have a lot to work on. They were disappointed with what they left on the field in Austin, and they were looking forward to capitalizing on even more opportunities. Clearly, they're doing that right now.
They certainly are doing that, Danny. It's going well for them. It's 10-0 after 13 minutes. And the SaberCats up against it. Struggling at set piece time, particularly the lineouts on attack. Windsor goes into the 22. Cellini's there. He's the one that set up that try. Experienced campaigner, though, hit hard there from Esdale. McKenzie shapes for a box kick and delivers one towards the halfway line. SaberCats keep a few of their forwards out on the back line. Try and miss the air there of Timothy Cadwalder or Vladimir Lilo. Something out of a fashion magazine as it gets pinched again at the line out. Lucas Rumble, the vice captain, 24-year-old, takes it for a spin. Now back on the front foot they attack here. Diana from Montevideo in Uruguay scored a try last weekend. Adams, good crisp pass to Detroit. Oh, stunning stuff from Malcolm. Here they go, Sheridan. Sheridan looking to cut them loose. Well inside the 22. It gets and goes again. The Arrows to the right-hand side.
Too slow.
Andrew Quatrin. They're bringing the tempo. Looking for the offload. It's there. It's magic. The money ball. Manuel Diana will score, created by Taylor Adams. And the blue wave continues to roll here in the desert.
And it seems to have kicked off there something went on there, two teams both flying in. But what about sensational rugby from the Arrows? This seems a bit of handbags. I'm sure the referee will clear it out. But unbelievable work. The depth, the pace, the ability to sort of fix the Houston defense, to expose that space out wide, then the patience in the 22, and then Adams at the line, just the speed and the tempo to get that offload. But look at this here, the way they fix them, two players first, that gets the edge on the defensive line, perfectly to come back and field. Then they didn't panic, played a couple phases, finally generated that quick ball. Adams comes to the line, catches the two forwards sort of napping, plays that ball through. That's champagne rugby, and that's exactly what they wanted to bring to this game, and so far they're delivering. They've got the Houston SaberCats rattled on the back foot, and they're outpacing them and playing with too much class and attack.
Just keep it clean.
Absolute class indeed. Well, Diana, the try scorer.
We're going to be watching off the ball now. Okay, harder. So just messages. Okay, and if we see something, give it a time on.
Captains Russ and Moore just having a chat there. A bit of ill discipline off the ball afterwards. Kick is successful, 17-0. The Arrows streaking away with this one so far against the SaberCats.
It's just once you get quick ball, you catch defenders that aren't able to get back in the line, get set and come up together. And that's what happens with Lilo in the forward outside of there. Adams spots that immediately. Instead of giving the ball early to the 8, he takes it to the line through that gap, knows that the two players are going to bite in on him. He has the pace to get through, get his hands free. It's really, really good stuff there from the Arrows.
Lovely to watch from the Canadians, their only team in Major League Rugby. Hopefully be able to add another one at some time, maybe Vancouver. A wonderful spot, of course, to travel to. They'll host the Sevens later this year. As Detroit takes it in. Forwards keep it tight. 3rd out of 4 matches here in Las Vegas. Later we have the Colorado Raptors against the San Diego Legion. 8 teams from the competition assembled here in neutral field and climate as well. Another good exit strategy from the half. They go quickly over to the SaberCats.
Just touch, guys, touch. Okay, off the side, guys.
Referee saying it's a touch there. So he couldn't take the quick line out. I think it must have been touched by the crowd. That means that obviously then you can't go quick. The ball has to be caught cleanly for you to be able to play a quick line out there. But that's a fantastic kick from Mackenzie at 9. A great box kick. So far, the first one from the 22 got over the halfway line. That one just getting the halfway line from deep in their half. If I was Houston, I'd be trying a different sort of strategy off the kickoffs.
Houston now go to midfield. Looking to bash it up here with Boyson. DeVet Ruiz finds his loose forward Luke Beecham. Youngest of 4 in his family. Beecham to the right-hand side. Windsor, flat ball. SaberCats lost 10 metres or so from that line-up, but still they maintain the pill, and Windsor goes in. He's been bumped there and it's play on. And what a pick up to DeVet Ruiz! Oh, that's absolutely sublime! There's no way he should have scored that. And DeVet Ruiz has pinched something out of the slot machine. That's a winner.
Couldn't have been a more needed time for a try, and it comes from the captain. What a way to step up. But it's the recognition of the space from Sam Windsor at fly half. Puts that ball through. Question mark whether he was taken out or not. Wasn't able to chase it. Looked like Toronto were going to field it. Here's Sam Windsor coming to the line. Sees that the line speeds up. There's no sweeper at home. Puts that ball and he's taken out. But that little bounce and the ability to chase it from Russ. No one saw him coming. Picks that up and pins his ear back and goes straight over for the line. That is an opportunistic try from him. The ability to chase that, even when it looked like it wasn't going to be gathered, is superb.
Exactly what the SaberCats needed to get back into this game. Player from South Africa and spent a lot of time in Australia. Former wrestling champion DeVet Ruiz. You may not look at it by that body shape, but boy, he can motor. First try for the SaberCats. Windsor, who started all, looks for the conversion. Not able to pull it in, and it'll take us to a short break. SaberCats back in this game, and this is how it happened.
Here's that try again. Toronto flying off the line, but if there's no sweeper, there's space somewhere, and that's where Sam Windsor finds it. Ruiz gets the pick up, catches them off guard a little bit, and then he just has the pace to finish it. That such a needed try, such a momentum swinger for the SaberCats. We're on the receiving end of it.
We'll be back after a short break. 17-5, Toronto lead Houston here in Las Vegas.
I think the training environment is what separates this place more than anything else. I think that there's like a team environment with a personalized training effect. So I think that's the problem with a lot of other places. It's one or the other. It's, we're all together in this class, but there's no specificity with each person, or it's only personal training, which really there's just no camaraderie. So this facility, the way we set it up, we try to get that team environment, that group camaraderie, along with a personalized, tailored program for your needs and your goals.
Culture is just a massive thing here. From person to person, we'll have a 30-year-old athlete who's crushing a 300-pound deadlift right next to a 45-year-old woman who's just doing walking lunges, and the cohesiveness between the two people really ties the whole gym together.
$17-5 the score. Let's hear now from Danny Wetzelman, who's pitch side.
Guys, Devet Roos is one of a kind. He was just named captain 3 weeks ago, and Sam Windsor told me that they've been trying to get Devet here since day one, and Devet said, you know what, it's finally time to take the risk and come to Houston, and he's acclimating nicely, hitting up all the honky-tonks on his free weekends. Guys.
Thanks, Danny. Good intel there on Devet Roos, a try scorer, the 29-year-old. Grew up in Sydney. He's from Kroonstad in South Africa. We're back on here in the desert. Almost 20 minutes gone. It's the arrows in blue that restart after Roos's try. Diego Magno takes it to the line. Rugby World Cup 2015 and 2019 for the Uruguayan.
Stop, goal, 5, 4.
Windsor.
Now.
Doesn't go out. Chance for counter-attack. Arrows go through the try scorer, Diana. Nelkins with him. Cellini from the University of Toronto waits, but they go down the short side. Sheridan, he's been very active. The left wing, Markham Irish and Ontario Blue player. Cellini ducks down again. Tall timber. Quick ball to Melton. This time he looks up. He was seeing his options, surveying what was ahead of him, and then just dropped it.
Knock on blue. Scrum goal.
Unlucky error from the arrows there, but it was good line speed, good pressure from the SaberCats. He got caught napping on the short side slightly there when they made the inroads, but it was a good clearance from Sam Windsor, a good kick chase, stopping the arrows, getting over the halfway line, and then able to survive the defensive sets, and then enough pressure there, even though Malcolm was a little bit of an unforced error, to drop the ball there, and now they have a chance to have an attacking platform.
Major League Rugby just growing from year to year, expanded from 9 to 12 teams. So the new sides this year, the Free Jacks, the Rugby ATL side from Atlanta and Old Glory DC. And then next year we have Dallas from Texas and Los Angeles from California joining. This competition is taking the world by storm. Plenty of international players and a ton of local stars who will shine for the USA Eagles later this year. And a penalty at scrum time.
Number 1.
Set piece working, so pinged in from the side is Uchi Asiata.
Referees ping the loose head for Toronto. They're coming on the angle, he said. That's when you're almost, the giveaway is at the hips, almost kick out initially, sort of slightly early on the engagement sequence. Then as you push, you're outside of the tight head, and it's almost very obvious because that loose head's sort of out there on his own, even though they were going forward, deemed to be on the angle and gets a penalty. And that's just an easy in for Houston now to have an attacking opportunity. They took that one chance, really need to try and get another one here and make this a competitive game.
The momentum with the side from Texas. They go to the tall timber in the middle. Cadwalder into loop around.
That's one goal.
Victor Comtat and Breitenbach in there. The two hard locks. Ruiz wants to peel this away. Number 9 finally gets it away to Windsor. Windsor, nice little short ball to Tion Lewitz. Lewitz still going strong over the advantage line. Courtois off his feet.
Leave him now.
Still to the right, they work. Here is Breitenbach now, the 26-year-old from Johannesburg, South Africa, near the Kruger National Park, where he used to run wild as a child. Windsor in the stutter step. Windsor loves a hot cup of java in the morning. I saw him today, and he said he had 15 cups already. So he's ready for it. Still the forwards work around the fringes. SaberCats lose it though, so it's a chance for Malcolm and the Arrows to cut loose. Good step, and Fan still going. A one-man thrill machine. This one kicked ahead to Matthias Freire. Freire with a couple of players in front of him. Sheridan was one of them. SaberCats go all the way inside their own half now. Windsor looking for the cross kick. Deep. Malcolm's there, he got all the way back. Be in a great position. A lot of vision he has. He's found Taylor Howden. Howden looks to step and fires a nice ball out to Lewitz, though they come charging for him. Lewitz gets through one. But the net result is they're now back inside their 22. SaberCats kicked over the top. Windsor loses his footing, which is a nice idea. Not too many chases, but he does get the penalty.
Taken out the kicker.
Referee gets the penalty here for Sam Windsor. Nothing on there. Looked like he was going to clear his line, so the Toronto players come up, finds a space in behind again, this time deemed to be taken out. Too far after he kicked it when the contact was made. Last time it was very instantaneous, so then obviously you're still allowed to play the man. That time a bit too much of a delay, the referee thought, after he kicked it, therefore taking him out. That gives him the penalty, and that's just giving Houston another in. Toronto need to be very patient. The discipline is really hurting them a little bit. They look very dangerous off that transition early, but this is obviously Windsor again. He's knowing that Toronto are coming up in his face, that leaves space behind. But for me, the big theme now for Toronto is just let them play the phases. They haven't quite broken you down yet. You're almost giving them the opportunities to get down in your own half.
Here they go now, line it at the 22. Windsor will have a few more attacking options this time.
Just take a steep goal. Yeah, good.
He's got Esdale with him as the long hair of Lilo, former Seattle Saracen. Family loves watching rugby. They attend the USA Sevens each year. This used to be the venue for a decade. They go over the top though. They've lost it. Been picked up there from Rumble. Lucas Rumble, product of Queen's University.
It's good. Released.
The Arrows get away with this one again. Cellini. Just issues that attacking line-out time for the SaberCats have let them down so far in the first 25 minutes. They trail by 12 points.
Ball's available. Leave it, go.
Arrows from Canada.
Ball's available, guys.
Keep it with their forwards. Diana with the old Christians Rugby Club in Uruguay.
Hold there. Carried back. Just hold, Blue. Hold.
They've got to keep this one in field. Freire is there for the SaberCats. Esdale's with him. Straight away, gives it to Lewitz. 3 players on him. Tian Lewitz takes on Detroit. 2 South African-born centres going head-to-head as Ruiz comes down the narrow side, skips one. Oh, what a ball on the inside to Esdale. Sublime skill. Esdale in open space. Malachi Esdale looks for SaberCats to help out. Ruiz was the creator. Scored the first try for the Cats so far. Lilo in at 9. Windsor has his lock pairing with him. Breitenbach in contact. Now stepping up is Wiggins. Toronto looking to force this turnover here and a steal. And referee Nut Brown says they've done enough to force it.
Unplayable. Good counter-attack. Good counter-up.
Great recovery from the Toronto Arrows. And
straight to the middle.
Careless from the Houston SaberCats there. Yes, their 9 has obviously gone into the breakdown to try and clear it, so you don't have them. You just got the forwards there. But you've got to get some urgency to eventually get that ball out. At some point, as they're napping, I always say you have to have your eyes up when you're in that clear-out position to watch for those counter-ruckers. Caught there, get the ball back. But it came from a brilliant break from Houston. And that guy, Ruitt, is really the one creating everything. Big worry for him down on the field right now. If you're a SaberCat, this guy's been at the heart of everything they've done well. Caught on the blind side, didn't look like much was on. Created something out of nothing with the offload to Malachi. Very, very impressive.
Very impressive indeed. He was with the Brumbies squad in Super Rugby and played some footy in France as well. tells me I saw him earlier this week. He says he has 3 sisters. He's the youngest, and they've traumatized him. So he had to get his aggression out on the rugby field. And he's really been a spark plug for this Houston side. Seems to be okay. Trying to brave and tough it out.
Time on. Come blue.
And here's that counter ruck. Under-resourced at the breakdown, only 1 over it. Toronto sort of very opportunistic there. Once they get the men off their feet and they get the momentum, they pile forward, even though the ball's unplayable, because there's sort of momentum's going forward. That's what the referee's looking to award them the scrum, and it's well deserved.
Arrows will take possession here at Sam Boyd Stadium. We witnessed the LVI. It was a huge success yesterday. The Las Vegas Invitational saw teams from all over the US and overseas take part in 7s and 15s. Las Vegas Academy played the Las Vegas Blackjacks. University of Denver against Coastal and Enscrow. And the Air Force Kutztown in Division 1A. A lot of quality sides represented as the Arrows build the attack off their scrum. Going a bit backwards, but they keep possession and flick beautifully. Sheridan on the outside. Kicks it over the top. They're chasing here. Taylor Adams is there. Esdell wins the race. He's by himself. He hands off the uprights. But referee Upground says we're going to come back. Something happened here in back play.
From the late tackle, guys. The scrum advantage was over. Okay. Yeah. 13 gold. Skip.
Penalty for the late tackle. So I believe maybe the player who kicked the ball afterwards was tackled late after that chase. And it's usually where the ball bounces if it's a late tackle, I believe. And that's where the penalty is. And it just shows how dangerous the Arrows are. When they get on the outside, when they find that edge, that's when they thrive.
Earlier late tackles.
And this is it here. Catching them in. The defensive line flies in there. If you fly in there, you've got to get the ball. That's the late tackle that you can see there after he kicked it. Referee deems that, and it looks like he's trying to possibly give someone a yellow card for this.
A late hit as well, yeah?
A late tackle was the third. No.
The one that I went through scored, that was advantage.
Not the late tackle.
Penalty. Got a penalty with kick this touch. So 2 for them as well, okay?
Lewis, I think he's just been yellow card there for Houston, and that's a big loss for them. They're already struggling in those wide channels is where they're getting exposed. Now you're losing a 13. He's really a defensive person who marshals that connectivity between the back 3 and your initial defensive line. He's got 10 minutes in the bin, and it's a big thing. And this is the actual incident here. After he's kicked it, taking the man out, similar to what we saw happen to Windsor, but that's much more blatant, much more of a physical hit. It's sometimes touch and goes with referees' interpretation with them, but now I think he's giving the penalty. I believe it's where the ball bounces.
There's Tion Lewitz. He'll sit in that chair for 10 minutes. The man from the Borland Agricultural High School and Northwest University of Potchefstroom in South Africa. Such a physical player, and they're just balled over just for a little bit. So the end result, Arrows up 17-5, half an hour almost gone, and they find themselves up with 1 player on attack. There should be holes aplenty as the SaberCat backline tends to shift across.
Fine.
Mackenzie feeds Deanna at the back, the 8.
Gone down here, guys.
Have to reset that.
Reset.
Looks like a slip.
Both you guys straightening up, okay?
Referee, probably the reason he's reset it, he thinks both players have slipped or someone. Nothing intentional deemed there, so he'll reset the scrum. But just going to the scrum, Toronto opted for the scrum off the penalty, and it's a very, very smart move. They have a numbers advantage in the back line, so the best way is you go for the scrums, you get all 8 forwards tied into that scrum. You can't really under-resource it there like you can maybe a line out. That means that there is a man advantage in the attack line. Look for them to play from this and try and expose that.
Fine.
3 backline players on the blind side. That includes the halfback, Mackenzie. He's looking that way now as the scrum provides a nice flat face. And here they go, 2 and 1. Couldn't slip it away. It's a big tackle coming in from Zach Pangilinan.
That's fantastic defense from the SaberCats there. A man down. Toronto had the wheel on the scrum. Probably took a little bit longer getting the ball out because they were going forward. That gave Houston a bit more time to react. But the spot in from the number 14. Ruiz is working hard to try and make that 11 if he gets that offload away. They get offload away, that's still probably a photo finish for the try. But the ability to wrap the man up, get him into touch, that's a game-saving tackle for the Houston SaberCats.
It really is, as they set up ruck time here through Adrian Boyson.
Good. Hold.
Ruiz.
Good. Pulled out. He's pulled out.
To Windsor. Gets a few extra meters with the run and then able to kick it. Malcolm is there though. Sam Malcolm, 24-year-old. He's been one of the standout players so far in the first 30 minutes of this game. Follows his kick. Boyson again. The big number 8. Hammered by a couple of arrows. On the right, the SaberCats look to work through Victor Comtat. 6'8" and 250 pounds. Very physical counter ruck in. Ruiz slicks it on the ground to Beecham. Quick ball. This time Windsor has to go up to collect.
No, ball was out.
Very cool as you like with all that coffee in your system. Downfield it goes. Another counter attack here. McKenzie. He puts it to the boot. Freire sits it up nicely. Gives it to Ruiz. And he finds the corner. A little bit of a chess match in that last passage of play.
It's been an interesting kicking battle between these two teams. Malcolm there in the 15. Windsor met with the big boot for Houston, going back and forwards. And that was a great work from Ruiz there, who got the touch and gets the work. But for me, it's when they kick these balls and sometimes Houston, I think, almost want to play too deep in their own half, and they're losing those kicking exchanges, and that's what's causing Houston Toronto to keep playing them. But I think Ruiz there found it perfectly.
Boyson gets the overthrow at the line out. SaberCats find themselves on attack into the last 7 minutes of the first half. Here they go with Breitenbach. Windsor, flat ball to Howden. Howden, his 3-year-old son William is watching. Again, another steal from the Arrows. They've done it all day. Foil the SaberCats on attack. So the men in blue from up north have possession through Ciullini and Shepherd. Asiata not using that pod. Low driving kick there from Flav Taylor Adams. Forces Esdale all the way back. He's with Freire, the 23-year-old. Puts him in his left boot. Well positioned though is Adams. Such an entertaining player. Oh, and he finds the ball back on the inside. It's magic, here we go! It's a free run to the line! Dan Moore! Doesn't need the hair salon, it just blows in the wind! Oh, and what a celebration! Moore's pure gold!
And that's a fabulous try. That's exactly why they are playing these kick tennis exchanges. They back their back three, they back their counter attack. That time Taylor Adams will fly half, little bit of magic, made the decision to run, goes down the blind side, gets that perfect ball away, and that's what unleashes more eventually. Watch this, the ability to get the punt. It might have come on for Houston hand initially, but that's what set it up on the short side. Houston bid in, he got the ball away, then they perfectly finished that off 2-on-1 to get down more away on the corner, and a nice little celebration there as well.
Celebration of the year so far. The Arrows tries converted, all set up by the young Flav Taylor Adams, 26-year-old from Auckland, New Zealand. And that's 3 tries in the bag for Toronto.
Bringing the score 24-5.
Mark Winokur told me that they backed themselves off transition and counter-attack. They thought that was somewhere where they had the edge today. And we're seeing that when it's unstructured, when they're getting Houston coming up, not in an organized defense line, but off a kick chase or a couple phases, that's when they're coming alive with the mix of pace and playmaker ability that Toronto possess right now is really the difference between the two sides.
An extra player as well, Tion Lutz in the Sinbin, still for another 3 minutes. It's 22 points to 5 so far for Toronto. 1 try away from the bonus point. 4 minutes to go in the first half here in Sandboy Stadium in the Nevada desert. About 20 minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. As the try scorer Moore wriggles free from the Wiggins tackle. The Arrows are so dangerous away. Imagine how strong they will be at home coming up later this season.
Good.
A ton of home matches in a row. Their first one starts on April 4th at York Lions Stadium. Then later they'll use Lamport Stadium. McKenzie exit to Esdale. He's got Boyson with him. Boyson ducks under. Moore's tackle. Rides it all the way over the halfway line. Bit of width on attack to Beecham. Steps up the right, bumps the shoulder. Back to the left they come. Breitenbach can't handle. Gone back, they're playing on. Boyson with a kick over the top. Oh, big collision, 2 Arrows into each other. We're going to stop for safety. Good refereeing there from Jamie Nutbrown.
You run into his little player.
The chip from Boyson infield. Big collision there between the 6 and is that McKenzie or who made the?
Looks like Adams.
Adams, who came in there for the gather, and obviously checking now for any signs of head injury and an on-field assessment.
And great officiating as well to stop play, to check to see everybody's okay, get the medics on straight away.
Exactly, especially because the breakdown was still contested. People arriving, you don't want to risk any more risk to injury until you know that the players are okay. Smart refereeing, reset. Be interesting to see whose scrum he gives it to. I think he might give it to Houston, only because they seem to be looking to counter-ruck at that breakdown, but it could go either way there. Both men eye on the ball. Probably a communication thing, if anything. One's got to sort of call the other off so that they don't avoid that collision, but that's what's happening. Both men are tracking that ball and we're there to take it.
Everybody seems to be okay, back on their feet. Good news there for the Arrows. Taylor Adams is okay. So they will take position, will the Arrows, to close out the last few minutes of this first half. Very entertaining Las Vegas weekend. Yesterday we saw the Utah Warriors in a thriller against New England, winning 59-33. And Rugby United New York, too strong for the Austin Gilgronis, 49-31. And early stages, of course, you know, they're going to score a lot of tries because defense is still figuring things out, aren't they, Alex?
No, definitely. I think we've seen a lot of high scoring, and some of that's defense, some of that's, you know, early in the season as well, some of these teams' fitness needs to get a little bit better, which helps defence. And I think also just we've seen some really good attacking rugby. I think as MLR develops, the attacking rugby season on season is ever growing, and I think that was fully on display this week. A lot of the tries we saw were very, very well executed tries, and that's an exciting thing for this league, to draw new fans in, to bring people in. You want to see sort of appealing, exciting rugby, and that's what we've seen so far.
It's also exciting for the national teams, for Canada and the United States. Some of these sides, including the Houston SaberCats, will host a USA Test match later this year. Uruguay against USA, August 29th at Aviva Stadium. And here come Toronto now. Big number 8, Diana, down the short side. Strong carry from Quatron as well.
Who's here? No. Downside goal.
Jamie McKenzie, 21 caps for Canada, gets charged down. Good skill there from Diego Magno. McKenzie fires one on the top to Malcolm, it misses him. Sheridan's there. Esdale races up into the fray there as well as Kieran Farmer, wearing 23 for the SaberCats. Remember, they're still down to 14 players. There's Houston. Defensively, they try to stick their tackles here as Lilo goes in low. Now Adams puts it downtown again. Pangolin and goes to collect. Straight to Windsor, known as the Rook.
Outside.
Goes high and up and under. Chases aplenty. Adams has it clean into Malcolm with a step. Goes up the middle. Lilo has him. Windsor tries to get over this one to force the turnover and the steal. And they get it.
18 gold. 18 blue. 18.
From the side
blue.
there.
Entry.
coming in from not through the gate. If you're going to clear out that breakdown, you have to come through the gate, which is sort of back sort of from your own side square, and it comes from good pressure. That low tackle from Halo opens up the initial challenge from Windsor. He has to get cleared out, makes it harder to clean out. They slow that ball down at worst. At best, they got the penalty and the reward, and that's sort of the arm wrestle or the kick tennis we've seen. Both teams have been kicking back and forth, deciding when to go, and it's sort of been favouring Toronto, but still reasonably even there, and that's a win for Houston and another attacking opportunity, and they have to execute. They have to get another try on the board.
Line out, again goes askew. Arrows come away with this one. It's unfortunate for the SaberCats. Short ball, Diana is full of running today. There's the big, solid number 8. 25 appearances for the Uruguay national side.
That's the winger. Yeah, good.
Pangilinan. Debut 2012 for the US, and Kieran Farmer steams into the contact onto the field. Off of that yellow card is Tion Lewitz again. He's hit hard by Cole Keith. Beecham behind the back ball. Howden. Step from Taylor Howden, the experienced campaigner who was with Nola Gold for a couple of seasons. Lewitz to the short side. Esdale comes back in. Malachi Esdale from the University of Miami. Low ball, good pick up there from Victor Comtac. Wide ball for Beecham, tries to get on the outside.
It's good.
Still missing some X factor. Boyson arrives too early, so Howden goes straight to Lewitz. A bit wider, Lewitz with a kick through. Sees a little bit of space, but well marshaled into touch. Lewitz must be careful, he's got a yellow card already.
Leave it, guys. Leave it, there's nothing, guys, there's nothing.
You guys are great.
Just putting the ball in touch there.
Half time, guys.
Ending the half, and the Arrows are happy to kick it out. They're happy with this result and what they've done so far in this half. Been in control, looked the better side with attack, been superb.
Arrows, 3 tries, 1 from Giuseppe Toit, Manuel Diana and Dan Moore. Got them 24 points. And a bit worse, the lone try scorer for the SaberCats. Men from Canada have certainly made a statement in the opening 40 minutes of this game. Referee Nut Brown has marshalled the troops pretty well in the middle as well. Free-flowing game.
I just had a word to him about just the off-ball stuff.
So a solid 40 minutes here at Sam Boyd Stadium. Let's get some reaction with Danny Wetzelman, who's sidelined.
I'm with SaberCats head coach Paul Healy. Coach, Sam Windsor said that you helped this team get their groove back. What do you say to that?
I don't know. I think the groove's struggling a bit at the moment. We're just giving away too many penalties, and a little bit of ill discipline is causing a lot of problems. Toronto are a good team, and if you make mistakes, they'll punish you for it, and that's what happened in the first half.
What adjustments can you make coming into the second half to address the pressure that Toronto has been putting on you guys?
Yeah, I just think we need to improve our edge defence and also a little bit more. It's not the enthusiasm, but the boys are working really hard. But we've just got to identify where the space is and get at that space and try and convert some pressure into points.
Paul, thank you.
Welcome.
Dallin.
Thank you. So at halftime in the Nevada Desert, it's Toronto who lead Houston by 22 points to 5 in week 2 of Major League Rugby. Time for a quick break. We'll return with analysis and highlights from Las Vegas.
think the training environment is what separates this place more than anything else. I think that there's like a team environment with a personalized training effect. So I think that's the problem with a lot of other places. It's one or the other. It's, we're all together in this class, but there's no specificity with each person, or it's only personal training, which really there's just no camaraderie. So this facility, the way we set it up, we try to get that team environment, that group camaraderie, along with a personalized, tailored program for your needs and your goals.
Culture is just a massive thing here. From person to person, we'll have a 30-year-old athlete who's crushing a 300-pound deadlift right next to a 45-year-old woman who's just doing walking lunges, and the cohesiveness between the two people really ties the whole gym together.
Hey, Rugby fans, Rugby is everywhere. The giant is awakening, and Rugby Wrap-Up is there with the alarm clock. Rugby Wrap-Up, global rugby coverage, sometimes with a wink. Weekly studio shows, daily website content, breaking news, evolving stories, the biggest names in the game on camera, all over social media. Pundits from all corners of the planet, local, global, professional, amateur, female, and male. Find it all on rugbywrapup.com.
Today's match is brought to you by Baylor Medicine and Aviva. It's Toronto that lead 24-5 at the break against Houston at Sam Boyd Stadium. And let's hear more about MLR with Danny Wexelman.
Thanks, guys. I have MLR Commissioner George Killebrew. George, you have a very impressive background. You were with the Dallas Mavericks for 27 seasons as the Executive Vice President. You worked with Mark Cuban for 20-something seasons. This was the first NBA All-Star game that you missed in 25 years, but I think that you're happy to be here, right?
Absolutely. I've seen my share of NBA All-Star games. Not that I don't love it, I do, but I would rather be nowhere else in the world than right here in Las Vegas with our teams.
This is a pretty cool week. You've been here back-to-back weekends, and I know you've seen a lot, you've taken in a lot, but what kind of stage does this set for the MLR?
I think coming to Vegas was great because Vegas has a very proud rugby tradition, having the Sevens here for years, and we knew the community would support us. It was a way to get our East Coast teams out of the bad weather and come to a place like Vegas, and hopefully we can make it a tradition. I think it's a great way to kick off the season.
And growth is top priority right now for the league.
Yeah, absolutely. It's growing our fan base and growing our media partnerships and growing our commercial partnerships. And hey, we're only 3 years old, and we've done some pretty amazing things in the first 3 years. But we got a long way to go to to get to the same level as some of the other big leagues in our country. But we're doing it. The signs are all really positive.
George, thank you so much for your time this whole week. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Danny. No problem.
Guys, back to you.
Well, we'll have more coming up soon. Second half action up next. Stay with us. It's 24-5. Toronto lead Houston in week 2 of Major League Rugby 2020.
I think the training environment is what separates this place more than anything else. I think that there's like a team environment with a personalized training effect. So I think that's the problem with a lot of other places. It's one or the other. It's, we're all together in this class, but there's no specificity with each person, or it's only personal training, which really there's just no camaraderie. So this facility, the way we set it up, we try to get that team environment, that group camaraderie, along with a personalized, tailored program for your needs and your goals.
Culture is just a massive thing here. From person to person, we'll have a 30-year-old athlete who's crushing a 300-pound deadlift right next to a 45-year-old woman who's just doing walking lunges, and the cohesiveness between the two people really ties the whole gym together.
Hey, Rugby fans, Rugby is everywhere. The Giant is awakening, and Rugby Wrap-Up is there with the alarm clock. Rugby Wrap-Up, global rugby coverage, sometimes with a wink. Weekly studio shows, daily website content, breaking news, evolving stories, the biggest names in the game on camera, all over social media. Pundits from all corners of the planet, local, global, professional, amateur, female, and male. Find it all on rugbywrapup.com.
A skillful Arrow side up 24-5 against the Houston SaberCats. Plenty of highlights in that first 40. 3 tries to 1, they lead. Take a look at those right now.
And it was Toronto who got everything started. This lovely play off the maul. Dutoit coming on a perfect line, cutting that intersect between the forwards and backs, the attacking line and the line out, had them bite it on the drive, and that got Toronto rolling. Really, really smart play, and they've been up-tempo attacking, and this is another moment. On the front foot, Adams at 10, puts the ball to Diana for the try. It came from a perfect break earlier off counter-attack. They've looked dangerous in the wide channels, they've looked dangerous with quick ball, and it's been Adams and Malcolm who've really controlled things, but it was Houston then that fought back. Sam Windsor puts the ball through here, but it's the captain, Devet Ruiz, who keeps chasing, hits that ball like a freight train, gets the pickup, goes under the sticks. Absolutely fantastic try, and something that Houston really needed at that point, but they just weren't able to take back control of the game. Had moments, but then that brilliance, that man Adams again, getting that ball away. Lesage puts Captain Dan Moore away, came off a perfect counter-attack break. The kicking battles has been tight, but Toronto have been sharp and clinical when they've had those attacking opportunities.
Arrows full value so far for their lead. 24 points to 5. Time for another short break. Coming up next, second half action here at Sam Boyd Stadium. 24 points to 5. Toronto over Houston.
I think the training environment is what separates this place more than anything else. I think that there's like a team environment with a personalized training effect. So I think that's the problem with a lot of other places. It's one or the other. It's, we're all together in this class, but there's no specificity with each person, or it's only personal training, which really there's just no camaraderie. So this facility, the way we set it up, we try to get that team environment, that group camaraderie, along with a personalized, tailored program for your needs and your goals.
Culture is just a massive thing here. From person to person, we'll have a 30-year-old athlete who's crushing a 300-pound deadlift right next to a 45-year-old woman who's just doing walking lunges, and the cohesiveness between the two people really ties the whole gym together.
Hey, Rugby fans, Rugby is everywhere. The giant is awakening, and Rugby Wrap-Up is there with the alarm clock. Rugby Wrap-Up, global rugby coverage, sometimes with a wink. Weekly studio shows, daily website content, breaking news, evolving stories, the biggest names in the game on camera, all over social media. Pundits from all corners of the planet, local, global, professional, amateur, female, and male. Find it all on rugbywrapup.com.
Today's match is brought to you by Baylor Medicine and Aviva. Let's get some reaction now, pitch side on the Toronto camp with Danny Wexelman.
I'm joined by Arrows head coach Chris Silverthorne. Coach, you guys retained 29 out of 35 players from last year. How does that chemistry give you an advantage?
Continuity is key in this league. That's one of the key things. A lot of these guys have been together for 10 years now, within the Ontario Blues we've seen before, and now the Arrows. So a big asset for us.
Sam Malcolm putting on a clinic right now. What can you say about his performance so far?
Sammy's fantastic, top notch, one of the best players in the MLR, and obviously one of our best players. So look forward to keep having him back.
What'd you say to your guys at half?
Just keep it going. Just keep it going. Fix a few football mistakes, and let's play it. We have another 40 to go. This is a good team that we're playing, and let's keep it going.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dallin.
Thanks, Danny. They'll keep it going indeed. We'll take a look at the players that will have impact here in the second half. A couple of names stand out there, a couple of internationals as well from both sides. It'll be very interesting to see how they use their bench. If they get some impact as well, look for Tim Stanford for the SaberCats. Malazzo will feature heavily as well, and Richardson will see what he can do when he comes onto the field. 40 minutes to go, and we close out week 2 of Major League Rugby 2020. Later today, we got the Colorado Raptors playing the San Diego Legion here in Las Vegas. Other games, Old Glory host the Seawolves, and Nola Gold against Rugby ATL. You're just joining us here. It's 24 points to 5. Referee for this one is Jamie Nutbrown from New Zealand in pink. And the Houston SaberCats have one try through DeVette Roos on the left of your screen. And they'll be kicking off to the Toronto Arrows. I'm Dylan Stanford, joining commentary by former England international Alex Corbacero. Entertaining first half. Of course, things are going really well for the Arrows.
Very, very well for the Arrows. Taking their opportunities, the pace out wide, the width and the up-tempo rugby they're able to play with on the front foot is just too much for the SaberCats at the moment. SaberCats can put more defensive pressure out in those wide channels and try and take their opportunities when they happen.
Second half about to go here at Sam Boyd Stadium. Toronto Arrows pick this one up through Cellini. The big timber, Paul Cellini, with his side up with a buffer of 19 points. They go to Jamie McKenzie and Taylor Adams. Their fly-off has really shone in this game with ball in hand and off the boot as well, as McKenzie box kicks this towards the halfway line. They've been accurate as well in getting out of their red zone.
Okay. Keep your line, mate.
It's another good touch finder for McKenzie at 9. I've really liked the way he sort of exited from his half, taken that full emphasis on himself and just keeps consistently getting them at least to the 40. If I was Houston, I need the ball back. Maybe I'd think about a contestable kickoff to try and get something back.
They get this one back. Position to work with. There's Tion Lutz, who saw a yellow card in the first half, gets held up here by Detroit. Helped out there by Rumble as well for the Arrows. Russ in. Feeds Robert Neeson. He's come off the bench wearing 19. The outside channel, good clean hands. Here they go with Farmer. Kieran Farmer planted around part the 10-meter mark as Windsor. Looking to get on the outside. Good quick ball. Beat him in open space. Got the ball from Boyson. Into the 22. SaberCats starting the second half well. Howden. Up for the front row, Boyd Wiggins. Back to the short side, Lilo is there. Howden throws a dummy. Cuts back into his forwards. Breitenbach once now. Former Austin elite player. Loves the contact, the physical stuff. Windsor. Short ball, man and ball there. Luke Beecham is the one that made that break earlier, but actually smashed to the deck there from Lucas Rumble. Ball spits free illegally.
Tackler's got to release. Knees on the ground. Tackler's released.
Really exciting passage of play for Houston there. Got the edge with Farmer, finding that edge and getting him away there, and then had the patience to keep playing through the phases. I thought Ruiz has done a really good job. That big hit there from Toronto was key, but then it was the overzealous. Once he's on the floor there, you've got to release and let him play. The referee deems his knees are on the ground. That is a tackle. You can't continue to play for the ball, and Houston need to convert, and there they've lost another line out. They shoot himself in the foot.
Not happy. Paul Healy looks on, the head coach for the SaberCats. 5 minutes out from scoring.
Oh, goal!
They concede possession.
Goal! Goal!
McKenzie, product of the University of Victoria. This time, he's under a lot of pressure, so still a nice attacking line out for the SaberCats.
They really need to win this line out. Even the one, they lost that one. The one before it was scrappy ball. They just need to give themselves an opportunity to play off this platform. They are starting to create more. They're looking to move the ball, that extra pass, which has been big for them, actually getting some line breaks against the Arrows. They just need to make sure they win this ball.
Goes to the tail, knocked back in field. Somehow they get it back through Vladimir Lilo. Part-time Call of Duty gamer, he says in his off time. They do get the scrum feed at least.
Got a knock on from blue, guys. Got a knock on from blue. Scrum goal.
Is that from me?
This is the unfortunate part for Houston. Yeah, they got the ball back, but it's another line out there. I don't want to hammer about it, but it's just killing their opportunities. They're never letting their attack get rolling. Always coming off sort of scrappy play when it does. They don't get that first phase to really sort of let the troops out, get some gain line, get some quick ball, get into their patterns of forwards, knowing where they're going. Instead, it's sort of starting from slow ball, very, very hard there.
See a couple of teams in the first few weeks struggle, especially with their lineouts.
I will credit that Toronto, they are getting a man up every time. It's not just scrappy ball, it's actually that Toronto are contesting, so they have to be a bit smarter, or even just go to the front and take a win, clean ball might be a better option at this moment.
Devette Ruiz has options here with the backline Windsor. Centers in diamond formation. Esdale just lurks on the left of your screen. Ball comes at the back here for Boyson. Early ball to Lewitz. Gets over the advantage line for the SaberCats.
Yeah, good.
Now the forwards rubble it forward. Wiggins. Put the ball away to Beecham. Breitenbach. Always dropping that cold shoulder of his.
Off your feet, blue! Let it go!
Arrows told to release this advantage for the SaberCats. Momentum changes now. Ruiz goes quickly.
No mark,
wasn't on the mark.
Tap it over here, Swan. You're straight off your feet, okay?
It's a poor penalty for the Arrows there. Referee even told him he's got to release. Is it De La Vega staying in there over the ball? And, you know, one, he was deemed off his feet, so he's got to release it. He can try and get back to the feet, counter rock or roll away. But then it was the way he stayed in there after referee's warning. Clear penalty, and it's frustrating for Houston because off the scrum, they're getting to play. They're getting in their set, and they're frustrating the Arrows. If they can get that on their line out too, they'll be in much better stead. Ooh, he catches a swinging arm there. Is it from the number 4 of Toronto on the chin, and that's what they're checking there. Touch judges probably didn't see that one, but if there was a video official there checking that could be you know could be at least a yellow card.
Well, I love that little signboard you saw in back play there. You never see I love assistant referees anywhere. The officials have done a great job this weekend in Las Vegas.
The tough job. You never please everyone.
There's Scott Green in picture. It looked very good in blue yesterday. Pink is not his color.
No, but I said to him, blue brings out his eyes, and the pink, it's not doing him justice.
One of the great characters on and off the field. They go for the attacking line out. Windsor to the corner. Now, Timothy Cadwalder's been replaced to hooker, so this is a big change here for the SaberCats. It looks like Diego Fortuny will see his first passage of play here in attacking line out.
And what a way to start the match with a really, really pivotal line-out throw. Got to win this ball and got to get into their attacking formation or get them all going.
Straight away, applause from the fans of the SaberCats. In the back joins Fortuny. And they drive for the line. Advantage for the SaberCats. Fortuny has just come on the field. Has he put it down? They've got this. It's try awarded. SaberCats back in this game with try number 2. Something special. And Diego Fortuny had a hand in that.
Really, really well worked try there. And what a way, straight off the bench, getting the try. Houston, it shows when they win their line out what they can do. They have a strong pack. They get that ball to the back, causing Toronto to infringe. I thought that was it the number 4 was lucky not to get yellow carded there for the way he sort of came around the side, but it didn't stop them. They still took the option that was contested, but this time they win it. Get that ball to the back, get set. That's the patience of them all. Once they get going, look at Ruiz, marshalling his troops, marshalling the referee, and the ability there to keep the leg drive going, get over the line, and there it is down over the line. And I think from the angle where the touch judge was, you could see that ball down, and that's a great try for them, and it shows if they can win their line out, their forward pack is a strength for them today.
A massive 30 seconds from replacement player Diego Fortuny. Doubles his team score, sets up Sam Windsor for an extra 2. SaberCats, the first team to strike in the second half. It's 24 points to 12 at minute 47.
47 minutes in.
Crowds have come to enjoy the entertainment capital of the world. Diego Fortuny adds to the highlight reel as well with that score. SaberCats after those 3 home games in a row, so their fans will be coming thick and fast to Aviva Stadium, one of the best facilities in America. Boyson, speaking of facilities, Boyson! Look at the breakout from the number 8. The tails are up. SaberCats with Windsor going a wide ball. Pangilinan almost got his pass away. Dan Moore comes in for the pinch and he gets it. He was on his feet.
Let him go, guys. Holding on. First arriver, straight on the ball.
That is fantastic defence from the Arrows. Great work from Boyson to get them on the front foot. But Lesage in that 13 channel, that is a try-saving read there. The fact he gets man and ball, gets the 14 for Houston, tackled there. Then they get the turnover as icing on the cake. But the ability to make that read in the midfield, that is a try-saving read right there.
And not only that, it puts the Arrows back inside the 22.
Here's the big carry from the big man. Breaks the first tackle, then the second. Fend has the leg drive to get on the front foot. It's a great tackle from the 4 that takes him down. Get quick ball. They know the space is out wide. Windsor gets it through the hands. It's this tackle from Lesage there. If that doesn't get away, I think they get an offload away, and we're looking at least a 40-meter line break, possibly a try. Him staying on that 13 channel, getting on the outside edge, still taking the man, opens up the turnover. That is top defense, and that is why they're a top team. It's a good sign of a good team.
Shepherd gets up as well. He's okay. Took a knock in the earlier play. An attacking line-out for the Arrows, looking to respond here as Shepherd debuted against Kenya in Marseille in 2018 for Canada. Played with the Highlanders and the Wildcats in Australia when he spent some time there.
Wait till they come down, goal. Okay. Full.
Applause from the SaberCats. An error for Toronto.
Not straight, and that's an unforced error. Houston didn't even compete in that line out. They'll be so frustrated with that. You've got to make those. They've got a strong drive. We know the platform they've played off when they've pulled out the back with the Detroit try earlier. To Houston not even to contest and them to get it not straight. You're really shooting yourself in the foot. They'll be frustrated with that. I'm sure the coaches will definitely speak to them about that afterwards. But it's a lifeline for Houston, who are trying to find some momentum back into this game.
Really is. Started their campaign off very well against the Raptors. They're leading 13-5 at the break, and they upped it to 21-12 last week. Tries by Boyson and Esdale. And now looking for that comeback. Trailed by 12. And they get a penalty as well. That'll help their efforts to get out of their 22.
And 3.
So 2 and 3 collapsing. Most likely on the tight head side when they collapse. It's usually their feet that kick back there, and that's the picture that referee sees, or maybe the touch Joe saw on the other side. I mean, that's a big boot from Windsor. He probably would have liked to get a little bit more meters on it, but now it's an attacking opportunity for the SaberCats. And again, comes down to them winning their line out. They win this, they get a chance to play, it's game on.
Well, this week they worked on the defense and, of course, their set piece as well as their kick chase. Now they look to attack the line. Get a couple of good strong fends as they go through. Beautiful ball, here they go. Magno. Diego Magno pops it up. Estel is there, the winger looking for work. Gets the ball stripped free, he's gone backwards. Breitenbach is all over this. SaberCats to the 22. Russ finds his forwards. Dummy there from Windsor, flat-footed. Boyson is there as well. Lurking on the right-hand side. They go back to Fortuny. Pangilinan, the right wing, all the way down to the left-hand side.
Oh, back.
Russ goes to the short side. Esdale, quick flick back into Breitenbach. High risk, but they keep it alive. Arrows want to come flooding in to the lanes, and they've done so illegally.
Number 8, blue, 8 blue.
Counter-rocking, but deeming from not through the gate, from the side. And that's exciting patches of play from Houston. If you look at this here, off the line out, winning the line out, key first, take it to the line, beats the first 2 tackles, leg drive, spins inside, the support from Magna at 7 as well, and that got them on the front foot. The offload game, keeping the ball alive.
3 goals, sub.
It's really exciting stuff from Houston. Ruiz not panicking as well, pulling the strings. Then the infringement from Toronto. That's when Houston looked their best. When they've got the ball, they've played, they've kept it alive on the front foot. They've frustrated Toronto and getting them to give penalties away. That indiscipline might eventually lead to a yellow card and sort of level the sort of the swing of momentum back to Houston even further.
You saw the captain there, DeVet Ruiz, speaking to referee Nut Brown. Gives some water there to Vladimir Lilo, who gets some attention. On the field is Charlie Connolly, wearing 18 for the SaberCats.
I feel like the referee's going to warn them about the penalty count now.
Get standard down here, okay? Yeah.
Hey, boys, we got to get our discipline up, eh?
Sorry.
Yeah, good message there from referee Nut Brown. Kiwi is on the mark for Windsor. Is going to put it down 5 meters out, line out, attacking form. Lloyd Wiggins is the one, the mincemeat that's gone to the sideline as Connolly replaces him in the front row. So here we go, set piece time again.
Boys, keep that game.
A shout out to our fans watching at the various watch parties. We know those in Houston. Oh, getting ready. It's knocked down by Breitenbach, stays with the SaberCats. They have the rugby ball with Fortuny.
Hold.
Beecham being so active, peels away. Boyson in to help out at ruck time. Windsor skips to the left-hand side. Forwards again, attack. 5 meters out, that one spits free. Arrows have this, almost an intercept ball. Great flick there from Adams. They go over the top again. Excellent skill to Malcolm off the left boot.
Outside.
That's gone out on the full. He's been outside his 22. And they've saved a certain 5-pointer.
Tough break there for Houston. They get the ball back. Here the steal is the ball's at the back. I think it's a foot that actually, or something that loses it. It comes out the back, and then you look how quickly Toronto are looking to strike on the counter-attack. Unfortunately, the kick from Malcolm there, straight out. He's already over the 22 as well, so it's exactly from where he kicked it from. And it's a lifeline for Houston. They get another opportunity, but their tight game was looking good. They didn't win the line out clean, but they went to the pick and go, kept it tight. You can hear DeVet Ruiz marshalling his forwards. He's screaming at them. They just need a bit of patience there. When you're playing that game, it's a numbers game and it takes time. You can't unfortunately turn over the ball like that.
Fortuny, superb. At the back, it gives Lewis a chance for Windsor. Got Pangilinan looping it. Wide ball to Esdale. They get the width. Esdale bumps off Malcolm. They go inside the 22 to the SaberCats. Oh, what a low ball. What a catch. Poison, I think it was. Oh, almost through the legs there, ball. Magno getting involved too on that short side. Connolly. Off the bench, big frame of Charlie Connolly, man from Dublin, Ireland, 22 years young. Lewis at first receiver, shifts it across to Fortuny. Doug Welson's coming on. Lewis again, steps off the right foot. Fortuny, short line, well handled by Quattrin. Windsor, oh, that could be yellow. Penalty. And let's see if that pocket is going to get a hand inside.
No, clear numbers. Penalty only.
Just the penalty.
See Ruiz asking the question, and I think we all are. Referee saying penalty only, but those are touch and go here. Lesage comes up with line speed. He gets in the passing lane and realizes it, but it's because Windsor goes over the top. He's forced to jump with two hands, can't make a tackle, but it was probably still, can't make a clean catch, still an ability where with two hands on that ball with his sort of his lifeline of why he didn't get a yellow card there, but he read that the passing lane, the line speed of Toronto, but Houston are starting to look dangerous in attack. Once they get the line out in, or they get set piece play, and they actually get through their phases, they are frustrating Toronto and getting their indiscipline to harm them and sort of slowly creeping their way back into this game. Windsor's boot is what did it for them last week. This is the same sort of blueprint that got them there. At some point, they might need to unlock the try, but this is enough to sort of slowly build momentum back into the game at the moment.
Certainly right. Plenty of time left. Just 15 minutes gone here in the second half. Sam Windsor from St Edmunds College, University of Cambridge as well. Turns, picks up his tee, he likes it. 10 consecutive points for the SaberCats in the second half. They trail 24 points to 15 right now against the Toronto Arrows.
He's got to catch it, yeah.
Arrows restart with a drop kick to Boyson. Boyson skips around a few of his own players, finally finds the contact.
Good, balls out, guys, play on.
Now Ruiz goes to the side.
Well done, pulling out of the line.
Goes into touch.
Balls out, you can go for the ball.
Let's hear now from Danny Wexerman, pitch side.
Guys, Sam Windsor, I spoke to him earlier in the week and I asked him, what adversity have you faced in your career? He told me that he's had 3 shoulder reconstructions, and while he was playing in Europe, he was training like he was playing the games, but he wasn't getting the minutes. He wasn't getting the game minutes. He said it was taxing mentally. He has no regrets coming to Houston, and he's made a huge impact on this team.
Oh, he certainly has. One of the stars of this competition. Arrows look short. A couple of replacement players in the field as well. There's Andrew Ferguson getting involved, but a couple of missed opportunities there on attack leads to a knock-on.
Knock-on blue, scrum
It's
goal.
unfortunate there for the Arrows. You know, it's good pressure from Houston. They're trying to get up off the line now, actually put pressure on Toronto where they let them had easy ball, but there was still gaps there. As the 9 was coming round there, a little bit of disconnect in the fold, opportunity there, made the pass, but just an unforced error there, and they'll just want to start to get back into this game. It's been all Houston for about maybe 10 minutes or so. They just want to get their hands on the ball, take control again, and that's just not what they want right now.
Paddy Leinart is in the front row wearing 17. The man is from Chelsea, Quebec. 24-year-old for the Arrows.
Crouch! Bind! Go, 2
Free kick here for the Arrows, so just
hold your own weight.
early engagement. Tap and go quickly will the Arrows. Diana goes across field, works that fend of his.
Good 7 out of it.
Detroit scored one of the special tries this season for the Arrows. Ferguson goes wide across, looking for De La Vega. And from Buenos Aires in Argentina, Cellini with Quattrin. Still the same way, good crisp passing there. The skip 3 was Rumble. Taylor Adams has been one of the players of the day so far, and again the SaberCats turn things around. Celebrations for their forward pack and Devet Ruiz.
Time off, water break, lads.
We're going to take a short break right now. It is 24 points to 15. Toronto lead Houston here at Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas during week 2 of Major League Rugby 2020.
think the training environment is what separates this place more than anything else. I think that there's like a team environment with a personalized training effect. So I think that's the problem with a lot of other places. It's one or the other. It's, we're all together in this class, but there's no specificity with each person, or it's only personal training, which really there's just no camaraderie. So this facility, the way we set it up, we try to get that team environment, that group camaraderie, along with a personalized, tailored program for your needs and your goals.
Culture is just a massive thing here, from person to person. We'll have a 30-year-old athlete who's crushing a 300-pound deadlift right next to a 45-year-old woman who's just doing walking lunges, and the cohesiveness between the two people really ties the whole gym together.
And we're back here at Sam Boyd Stadium. It's a tight one, 9-point buffer for Toronto against Houston, but 10 points in the second half here from the SaberCats. That put them well within reach here so far. It's going to be a scrum to the SaberCats side. Their tries from Devet Ruiz and Diego Fortuny, who've been on the field for about 30 seconds. 3 tries though for Detroit, his teammate Diana and Moore. 1 try away for the bonus point in week 2 here of Major League Rugby. Just joining us, we're at the venue where the USA leg of the HSBC Sevens World Series was for a decade, bringing rugby back to Las Vegas. Neutral ground and a lot better weather conditions than we'll see in Toronto right now.
Exactly, a perfect place to play rugby. And we've started to see some good rugby play from the SaberCats. They have started to take momentum of this game, still chasing on the scoreboard, but defensively have improved, started to actually get through some phases. And for Toronto, they'll want to just sort of take back control of this game and have some passionate play with the ball in hand and in the right areas of the field.
Scrum goes down again. Ruiz has it at the back. Penalty. That momentum stays with the SaberCats.
Binding, Blue. Binding. Binding.
That was a 50-50 penalty for me. When it goes down like that, it's sometimes very hard to tell who the culprit is. You've got the loose head hinge, you've got the tight head feet. Referee said binding, so he's obviously thinking that the loose head has a weaker bind. It hits the ground first. And as a coach, when I coach my props or when I played, they always told us, you need to show them. The referee has a split snapshot picture, so whose arm hits the ground first could be what sways it. So really getting that elbow up and trying to give him good pictures if you're a loose head is vital.
Voice of former England international and British and Irish Lion, Alice Corbicero. Wonderful to have you with us, my friend. I know the referee said earlier we spoke to them, you're keeping them honest with your feedback. This one knocks back and it comes to Windsor. Not tidy at all for the SaberCats, but they have possession. We'll jump up there for Nicolas Silveira. Fresh off the bench, as is Fortuny. He ducks down, helped there by Robert Neeson. SaberCats gone to their bench early here in the second half. Oh, lovely late ball to Lewis from Windsor. That was special. Boyson knocked backwards to Breitenbach. Ruiz back to the short side. Little jump step from Diego Magno.
Release blue, good. Hold.
92 caps for Uruguay. As Breitenbach again hits them hard. Salvani rides this tackle. Low one for Windsor, picks it up superbly, gets to the half gap. Skills are plenty with all those shoulders that have been worked on. He does superbly as his wife Becca looks on. Over the top ball, not the best one. It's cleaned up though from Neeson. Gone 10 meters outside the 22, and now Fortuny gets them closer to enemy territory. SaberCat attack just needs that patience. They go through Robert Neeson again, third time in this movement. Howden now getting to that playmaker role. Silveira, little dummy. A lot of defenders that come shooting up from the arrows. So the SaberCats look to go again. Luke Beecham diving through. There's Magno. It's all hot from the forward pack. They've got to keep their feet though. Behind the back comes Breitenbach, and now Lewis. Oh, running onto it. Howden with a ball. Esdale throws it back in field. It's been knocked on. That was the breakout they needed. Just something special. Bit of an X factor.
Knock on goal. Gone blue.
Tough break from the SaberCats, for the SaberCats there. Looking at getting that ball out of the back, trying to get on the edge there. Comes on the hard line, gets his hands free. Great work from Howden. Keeps the ball alive. Just the offload, probably didn't see it coming. Lewis there. And that's just frustration, because we've seen bright sparks. That creativity is starting to come. You've got to credit the Toronto Arrows in defense. So discipline, didn't give away any penalties for that long set, and the physicality of their low tackles have been nullifying a lot of the momentum of the SaberCats. The SaberCats come alive when they move the ball 1 or 2 times. When they just run straight into the Toronto, they're lining them up with a low chop every time, and that's sort of what's been their saving grace in that set of phases.
Small breath for the Arrows as they hold out the SaberCats for the time being. Feed there from Andrew Ferguson, 10-capped player for Canada. Now they go for Detroit.
Off now, good. Stay there. Hold.
Good carry from the inside centre.
Good.
Ferguson clears their lines. Be an attacking line-out for the SaberCats.
Good pressure from the SaberCats there, not giving him an easy exit. McKenzie not on, he's boxed well all day. The placement 9 probably would have liked to get a few more meters with that, considering he was inside his 22, but it was pressure. Every breakdown they're hunting, being offensive in the tackle. They smell a momentum shift. They just haven't quite got the points or the reward to claw themselves back into this game, and we know Toronto can strike just like that. So the emphasis is on Houston to convert this pressure and possession into points.
Fortuny, good set piece. They come to Lewitz. Tion Lewitz will have the advantage line. He's added another dimension to the attack. Beecham again.
Good blue, well done.
Forwards work the same way. Boyson. Another one possession, and Arrows come flooding in, and they manage to steal the pearl.
Lucas Rumble, it looks like, with the turnover there. Luke Rumble with the turnover, absolutely fantastic work. Got his hands on the ball, turns into the immovable object, can't be taken off his feet, clamped down there. We saw Ruiz trying to get it out and play, but the 7 still got his hands on it there. Clamps down there, sees that disconnect. The 18 from Houston doesn't remove him. Referee says he's all good to stay in there. Doesn't let go of that ball. That's great fight, and that's true work from a back rower.
True grit gets them possession, and now they march downfield, turning their defense into attack.
Get Luke. He ain't going up. Stay there on your line, boss.
The Arrows set their line out. Contestable. Finally, Beecham has it. Played that potentially an offside position. It was knocked by one of his teammates.
Tough call from the referee. Obviously intentional offside because he played the ball, but it was hard to tell for definite that that was a knock on there, so you have a little bit of sympathy with the 16 there. But Toronto not winning a line out clean as well. Earlier in the day they were razor sharp there, and so this is a well-needed momentum sort of shifter for them, this penalty here. They've gone for the 3, chip away at the score, haven't really done much for sort of 15 or so plus minutes of this game. Coming away with 3 points isn't a bad result at all.
We know that the watch party, they actually have a couple of their squad members attending there in Toronto. It's Leandro Levas and Gaston Mieres. They'll be fielding some questions as we speak during their watch party.
Just wait before coming up. Got it? Yeah.
And referee Nutbrown just having a chat there to SaberCats, to Diego Magno, forwards captain. So a chance for first points in the second half from Taylor Adams. It's a player that has impressed us tremendously. Played with the Melbourne Rebels in Super Rugby, and in New Zealand when he played in the Mitre 10 Cup, played with the Canterbury side. His skill set has been absolutely sublime. When they've been on fire on attack, he's been their creator.
Exactly. What an addition to the squad. So exciting. The playmaker, he's got pace, he's dangerous off the counter, and the way him and Malcolm have sort of partnered as the dual role playmaker in this team, it makes them an exciting attacking threat that can really use the full width of the field. And they have good punch in the middle with the centres and a good all-round game at the moment. I think the Arrows, although they have wavered a little for this period, are an exciting team to watch this season.
Adams, he likes it. So do the touch judges. Flags go up, and it's 27 points to 15. Penalty from Malcolm early, and now one from Taylor Adams. Under 15 minutes to go in this clash. SaberCats desperate to get on the scoreboard next. How does this match roll through in week 2? We have 101 matches coming at you this season, 96 regular season games in Major League Rugby 2020. Kick to Dan Moore. He brought down inside the 22. De La Vega plays his rugby before this at the University of Buenos Aires. Try to get a steal, but not able to do that as Ferguson goes to the air.
And the Toronto Arrows substitution, number 23, Richardson, coming on the pitch.
It's a good, much better clearance from Ferguson, exactly what he would have liked. And he was under a lot of pressure from the SaberCats. Breakdown after breakdown, they're competing for the ball, they're firing through, they're making it hard for Toronto to exit, but it was very good composure for them to get that kick away, get out there and get the possession out of their half.
The field and back player there is Tim Stanfield.
Hold.
No relation to Lou Stanfield, legend with the San Diego Legion. But a better hairstyle. They go to the front. Good take there from Breitenbach. Howden, the first receiver, as Lewitz again. Pumps those legs of his. Again, good carry. Silvera. Howden steps in again. Isdale. Ball gets ripped free. Second time that's happened. Counter-attack now for De La Vega. Coming in from fullback is Will Kelly. He's replaced Malcolm. His kick has gone out just too much.
The right idea there, unfortunately for Kelly, just a little bit too much on it, straight out, and he gives the Houston base the line out back almost a little bit into the half, a little bit further in than they just were. But it was the error from them, starting to actually play some rugby, losing the ball in the wide channel. We know how dangerous Toronto are off the sort of transition counter-attack. Just a little bit too much on there. You know, Houston need to start getting back down there, need to get some points. You know, time is starting to tick away. They've been much more competitive in this half, but from these midfield opportunities, they need to get back to those line breaks, forcing it. Off the line out a lot of the time, they've been going down and give. I think trying to catch out the line speed of Toronto, I would just play off the top, quick ball, get that first hit up, and let them use their players. There we go.
There they go, listening to Alex Corbacero. Short ball coming into the line there is Cecil Garber on the field as well. Penalty, and as he Taylor Howden has jumped in a playmaking role as well.
Stay on your feet.
Substitution on the field.
Off his feet.
Garber replacing number 8, Boyson.
Not wasting any time. They go for the line on inside the 22.
Yeah, okay, then you killed it.
It's a pretty good kick from Windsor there.
As long as you're on the ball.
Hard to push it much further with the distances in the middle of the field. Not a bad attacking platform all for Houston, and just putting a massive emphasis on them for winning this line out. It was great play off the top, got the reward. When they get the line out functioning, it looks so much more dangerous side.
They have it here through Magno. Dummy thrown as SaberCats now go to work inside the 22. Pick and drive from Diego Fortuny. Neeson in there to help him out as well. Howden waits here on the right-hand side. Fortuny looks up as Breitenbach with him. A bit of beef from South Africa. Neeson now. 8 meters out. Arrows lead 27-15. Low ball for Devent Lewis. Looks to see where his playmakers are. Now they shift to left. Howden behind the back ball to Windsor. Windsor coming through that second wave of attack. Beecham carried well today. In he goes again. Play with the Brothers Rugby in Brisbane. The juggle there from Silvera. Still here with Howden. Fires it wide to Meeson. A little bit of space to operate. Esdale is in there with Farmer.
No.
Howden again, moving the channel to Silveira. Better quick ball, and then juggling around is Diego Magno, but penalty, offside play.
Yep, I know, and they've had a good period, so, okay.
Lewis trying to get talk the referee into reminding him of the penalty count. He says they've had a good period of discipline, which they have done, to be fair to them. They have been pretty well disciplined in that 22, but that time too much. Houston just able to keep enough phases that eventually something fractures the offside line there. And
blue 3 and 5.
It's here. If you look at, he scores it, he's saying that Toronto offside.
Yeah,
it's a tough call there. You know, looking at the replay, it's fractions there. Not massively obvious picture, but that's what he's done the penalty for. You cannot come up off the defensive line, which is the back foot of the ruck, until the Niners lifted that ball off the ground. Not hands on it, but actually lifted it off the ground.
Scrum centre. Perfect attacking platform for the SaberCats. Howden is lurking on the left-hand side. Windsor on the right with Lewitz and Farmer. Look for the danger man too off the bench, Tim Stanfield, 30-year-old from Seattle. 5-time national champion in 7s and 15s at the club level.
We're going down, guys. Okay. Just a bit more height and a bit more height. Okay, a bit more height. Here we go.
Everybody's pointing to everybody else saying, it wasn't me, sir.
It wasn't me, and I am one of those people that was absolutely guilty of that. I'd say never was it me, sir, but now as I'm sort of past those days a bit more impartial, you realise how silly you are sometimes. Like, you never know if it's you or not a lot of the time in those situations. It's too hard to tell. It's a quick split-second thing, but everyone sort of puts that brave bravado face on of laughing at each other, saying it's you, no, it's you, and the referee deemed it, you know, a slip instead of someone infringing.
Mind games down there at scrum time. The dark arts. It'll stay though with the SaberCats. Diego Magno has slipped into the 8-man position. He's comfortable playing there with the national side of Uruguay.
Lines up, okay, and a little bit higher, okay? A little bit higher.
So 7 minutes to go in this clash.
Yeah, he's left there.
12 points.
If you're Toronto here as well, you're not worried about these resets. As long as they don't get penalised, you're eating up vital seconds on the clock that Houston need to score. If they give away a penalty here, then they should be worried. But as of right now, they've taken a good minute-and-a-half chunk off by doing nothing.
Fine. Shoot.
They keep it stable this time. Magno has it. He slipped in the left-hand channel, and Howden attacks on the front, but Taylor Howden carries it to the 5. Arrows just lying all over this, concede the penalty, and Devet Roos will certainly have more words with our referee Nup Brown.
I think he's got a pretty good case too. It is starting to amount up. No clear repetitive infringement, but just accumulating penalty after penalty. He'll be in his ear saying, how many more, sir? How many more do we need? When's the warning?
Blue 3 collapsing.
And I think they'll go scrum again to try and get the reward.
Hey, corner. Stay back 10, guys. Stay back 10.
Oh, they kick in the corner. And this is a big moment for Houston. They have won one good, clean line out close to the line. They scored off a driving maul. Since then, they haven't been able to capture it clean to get another maul. One maul, one try. Can they get two mauls, 2 tries? It's a big emphasis on them to get it right. But a lot of that I'm crediting to Toronto's consistent ability to get someone in the air next to the guy going up every time. They've really done their homework on Houston's line out.
Diego Fortuny to Beecham. Breitenbach into Glegg. The Arrows have formed well.
Straight through the middle.
SaberCats now peel away. Still there. Within 5.
Ball's here, still up.
Advantage again for Houston.
Number 6. Stay, guys.
In they work. SaberCats desperate to score another try to get closer. Lewitz once, kicks it through. They've got the penalty though.
Time off. Blue 6. Blue 6.
Here we go.
Blue 6. Too many penalties as discussed before. So it's blue 6, collapsing, 6, and number 6, collapsing them all.
De La Vega, the number 6, the one who goes to the bin, and that's what we talked about. Wasn't one clear, very cynical infringement. It was a cumulative, repetitive penalty count that David Ruiz had been constantly badgering the referee about. Finally, that was too many. There's the yellow card. Now they're being smart with a number here. They're going to the scrum. It means you have to tie 8 forwards in. You can't drop a player off of the line out to keep your back line in. Either they drop a man at the back of the scrum, which means it's easier for Houston to be attacking and get a pushover, or they put a number in there to deal with the threat and at least one less man out in the backfield to attack against. Boxing clever from Houston.
Let's see what the Arrows do in response. 4.5 to go. Clock ticks away. 12 points the difference. They need to score 2 converted tries for a victory.
Straight down, guys. Straight down.
And again, these collapses are eating vital seconds away. If you're Houston, if you're Toronto, it's smart. If you're Houston, you've got to be saying to the referee, we don't want to collapse her. We need to play. We need to win. That's the message that you've got to reinforce to him. So he's like, who's the culprit here? Who's the one who has more incentive to try and sow the seed to him? Because a lot of these sort of split-second collapses are 50-50 calls.
A nail-biting few minutes remain for the Houston SaberCats and Toronto to see if they can hold on. Try a piece in the second half, but Sam wins up with that penalty. SaberCats outscored Toronto. Got the short side. Ruiz is in. David Ruiz is like a winter storm. He'd been threatening, and finally he strikes.
He really is the heartbeat of this side. You see why after a few weeks there they've made him captain on arrival. He's been at the pulse of everything. A good scrum, couldn't get the nudge there. Catches the man short on the short side. Flank is still held in. He gets there, he gets the try. Great read from the 9, and that's exactly what Houston needed. They're in bonus point contention right now, and there's still a little bit of the time on the clock to try and rescue this game.
David Ruiz gets a double, scored in minute 17 and minute 77. His side trailed by 7. Sam Windsor lines up the sideline, attempted conversion. He knows that the clock is going. 2 minutes left in the game. Windsor. Massive kick. Comes down to those tied legs of Sam Windsor. And they're not tied at all. Take that, Dylan Stafford. He says it's over.
That's a huge kick, and credit Sam Windsor, one of the talisman, as I've said, of this team. That's what's coming up, the 9 and 10, when the game is on the line, coming in clutch. And here's that try again. When they have a man down, catches them sleeping on the short side, you're worried about the numbers out wide. Ruiz has a pace to get outside the flanker there. The disconnect from the back that couldn't handle a really smart play and a really, really well taken try.
Final few moments of this game, 5 points in it. Ruiz has this one for the SaberCats. Windsor thought about kicking it. He knows they need one score to tie things up. They go down to Magno, goes on the outside to Lewitz. Tion Lewitz from their own 22. The Arrows stunned them in the first half. They're leading 24-5, and they get the turnover as well.
They released.
Could that be enough for the game?
Knock on goal. They released.
Big error for the SaberCats there, and credit the Arrows with good defense, combative in the breakdown. You saw Windsor initially opted, thinking he wanted to kick that ball from his 22. Here's the actual thing, getting their hands on the ball. It's a tough one there because the referee says tackle. You think Toronto need to release a little bit sooner. That's why Houston had a bit of a gripe. The referee deemed that they didn't release. They didn't rip the ball after he said tackle. It was spilled and him going to ground. But back to what I was saying is Windsor knew they had to play there. He knew he had to play. Usually he would kick it, but they needed the game, and this could be too many minutes on the clock for them to get it back.
Coaches Chris Silverthorne, Aaron Carpenter, Corey Hector, and Peter Smith Very relieved for the Toronto Arrows. Such a quality outfit, but they've been really tested here in the second 40 as they look for Deceptitois, who goes to the line. Chaluni. In fact, it's Mike Shepherd looking to close the game out. Keeping it tight with the forward pods, ducking low all the Arrows.
Yes. Yes.
Referee says use it. Off they go again. Penalty, though, to the Arrows, not done yet.
Behind the mark. Good.
Here they go. Fortuny. Oh, gets to the first cap. Diego Fortuny. Windsor. Floats one over the top. Stanfield. Oh, Stanfield. That mullet has almost been taken off his head.
Wait.
Wouldn't mind that, actually. Yellow card, though. It's now 2 people in the bin. It's a red. Direct contact to the head.
And that's a momentum shift. Toronto were chasing the bonus point. That's why when time was off the clock, they were still attacking. They didn't count. They didn't kick it out. They wanted to keep playing. They gave away the penalty. That means Houston are still in this game. And it's this incident here made the break. Out wide, Stanfield there. And it's that swinging arm at force. He says contact with the head. That's the criteria for a red card, and that's what the referee deemed. And now they're kicking the corner, Houston, with one more go. Can they get their maul going? It's been dangerous for them when they can win that line out. Now missing a second row as well makes it harder to defend the maul and harder to get up in the air in the line out.
Thrilling stuff here from the Houston SaberCats. Match gone in on a penalty. So they got the chance here to attack from the line out. It's been an area that has haunted them all game. Diego Fortuny. Can he change their luck? They go to Breitenbach. 15 players against 13. Lewis comes in to drive. The backs are in there too. Farmer is in there with Howden as well. Well, they're going for a 20-meter maul. The vet Roos gets in there. I'm not sure how much that's going to help. But there it is. Windsor in there also. They surge ahead. SaberCat fans going absolutely berserk in back play.
This is outstanding.
Edge of your seat stuff as the forwards and backs combine. SaberCats at the 5. Here they go now. 4 meters. They're not stopping. They're over the line. They're looking to celebrate. What does referee Nutbrown say? He's going to check. He says held up.
Oh my. It looked like they were far enough over that you'd want to think they got it down, but it was very hard to tell where the ball was. That's the game.
Held up is the call. The Arrows have done it defensively. They did it in the first 40 on the attacking side of things. And wow. Crazy finish to this clash.
What a finish. And Toronto, they dominated the first half. The second half, they held in enough. But credit Houston for the fight back. Outclassed in the first, came back swinging in the second, and missed that game by inches. Absolutely, I've never seen a 12, 13, 14 man maul, especially from that far out, and to get over the line, that is heartbreaking for them.
Well, the Arrows, 2 wins from 2 matches to start off the season. Job done for coaches Aaron Carpenter, Corey Hector, and Peter Smith. Time for a short break. Final score here at Sam Boyd Stadium is the Toronto Arrows 27, Houston 22 in Week 2 of Major League Rugby 2020. Final score 27-22. Toronto hold on strong against Houston. Houston a brave comeback after trailing 24 points to 5. And we have players shone for both sides. For us, Devet Ruiz was absolutely outstanding in this game on the losing side. Toronto Arrows, their fly half, Taylor Adams, a special player indeed, and a hand in everything, particularly in the first half, that set them up for those 3 tries. And let's go downfield side to Danny Wexelman. You hear from Dan Moore.
Dan, you're catching your breath still. Talk about playing a full 80, a lot of drama. What's going through everyone's minds? You guys played your hearts out just then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to catch my thoughts here on what happened at the end. You know, we had a chance to probably put that game away twice, I'd say, in the last 2 minutes. So opportunity to learn from there, but we're just happy to get the 4 points and get out of here with a win. So, you know, our team plays for each other to the last minute. That was on display today, and we managed to get the result we wanted.
2-0 on the season now. You guys returned 29 out of 35 guys. That chemistry has to play a role.
Yeah, and, you know, further than that, a lot of our boys are, you know, Ontario are born and bred, and, you know, have played together in the club system or on the Ontario Blues, which is the prior generation of this team. So, you know, we do have that familiarity, but we did also, I think, do a great job of bringing 4 or 5 new international players into the fold. And, you know, we seem to be enjoying each other's company, and you know, it shows on the field.
How exciting was it to get to play this game here in Vegas for the opening week of the season?
Well, it's amazing just to get outside. It was I think it was minus 30 in Toronto when we were leaving to come down here. So just to get outside and you know, take in some sun has been fantastic in Las Vegas.
Dan, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Dallin.
Captain of the Toronto side. They get 4 points from that victory, and the Houston SaberCats also get a point, losing within 7. A fantastic effort from them, especially in the second half there. But Toronto, full value indeed. Their forwards combined superbly. In set piece, they were excellent, and Houston came back, though, in the second.
Exactly. Toronto set the bar very high in the first half. Good, playable set piece. The 2 playmakers, the attacking width, the tries they scored were superb, but they left their foot off the pedal a little bit, and that allowed Houston to come back into the game. We didn't see the same continuity from the Arrows. We saw good moments of defense, which they'll probably, you know, credit themselves and a backbone to build off of, but the ability to sort of lose control of that game is something they'll have to work on. Houston started to win ball, win their line out, get through their phases. The game started to be played in the right areas. I thought Windsor and Ruitt managed that second half superbly well, and Houston finally came alive. If anything, they were just missing one more level of shape, creativity to probably get the full reward of the tries for the possession and the times they had down in the 22. They look a little bit, you know, Route 1 direct when they narrow up there, and I think they just need to add a bit more sort of deception into their back play, and they probably could have scored a couple more tries today.
Yeah, they threatened indeed. Devet Ruiz was our player of the match, was absolutely outstanding on both sides of the ball. He got 2 of their scores, kept them going and getting them into the game. Special player to watch, of course, for the Houston SaberCats side. They're in the Western Conference. You take a look there of the fans thanking the teams coming out from both sides. 8 sides here from Major League Rugby doing battle in the Las Vegas weekend. Later today, don't forget, it's the San Diego Legion that will take on the Colorado Raptors. Special times here in the desert. So that's all from us from Sam Boyd Stadium, where Toronto have defeated Houston by a score of 27-22 in Week 2 of Major League Rugby 2020. For Alex Corbacero, Danny Wexelman, and our entire crew, I'm Dallin Stanford saying thanks for watching. Be safe out there, and we'll see you soon.